Hello everybody, welcome to SportsBet TV with me, Paul Alster. As ever, it is very good to be speaking to you. I'm looking forward to action coming up in Britain on Saturday the 28th of February, where I'm focusing on a big race up at Kelso. There's been a lot going on in the racing world over the last week. Of course, the build-up to the Cheltenham Festival, in particular, that decision not to run Constitution Hurdle in the Champion Hurdle, which I think the majority of people agree was the right one, was the right decision. The horse was so impressive at Southall, and he certainly has a future on the flat. It would be a shame to risk him given his frailties jumping hurdles at speed these days. And I think that was a great decision for racing, and a big credit to Nicky Henderson and Michael Buckley for making that particular call. Of course, we're closing in on the Cheltenham Festival coming up a week on Tuesday, and I'm going to have extensive coverage of that. So I hope that you'll be joining me for that. I'll be offering at least 2 selections a day through the Cheltenham Festival. If you're new to the channel here, press the subscribe button because all my tips at SportsBet are free. If you're interested in more comprehensive coverage and analysis, then join my subscribers at Out in Front. There's a link in the description box just below this screen, and you'll be on board in time for Cheltenham, where I'll be tipping extensively across most of the races each of the days. And of course, we've got 4 wonderful days at Cheltenham. Then, of course, we move ourselves through to the start of the flat season on turf. We've got Aintree, we've got the big meetings in Ireland, we've got the classic trials. A lot of great action coming up over the next few weeks and months. So a good time to get involved and join us at Out in Front. Well, let me take you to my one selection for you on Saturday. Now, it's at Kelso, the 255, the Bet365 Morebattle Hurdle, where they're suggesting the Borders track is going to be good to soft in places, and 17 runners are going for the big prize, some of whom could very easily turn up in races like the County Hurdle, even the Fred Winter, something like that, over at the Cheltenham Festival, depending on how things go here. Now, this is a high-quality £120,000 handicap hurdle. It has been won for the last 2 years by Scotland's own Cracking Rhapsody, who is trained by Ewan Willans, sure to have been trained once again for this race and his hat-trick bid. He was successful off a mark of 119 in 2024, then followed up last year off 132 and is now £4 higher than that at 136. To be honest, he didn't show much in his first 2 runs this term and duly had wind surgery, so there might have been an excuse. That was in mid-December and was prior to his latest fair effort, no more than fair, at Haydock. The truth is, though, he loves it at Kelso, and I expect him to run another very big race and be bang there in the mix going to the final flight. To be honest, though, there are so many in this race with live chances. On his next second to Rubo in a Grade 2 at Wincanton in November, James Owen's Hamlet's Knight has every chance of just £5 higher. He also showed his well-being with a win on the flat over 1 mile and 3 furlongs at Kempton last week, so he's going to be fit and ready to roll. Now, Jet to Vegas, trained by Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore, was a really good winner of the Grade 2 novice hurdle on this card last year, before going on to finish a really good 4th to Salvatore Monday in a Grade 1 race at Aintree. Now, to be honest, he hasn't really progressed since switching to fences this season, but he's another to have had a breathing operation recently that could now be a big help for him as he comes back to timber at a track where he's won well in the past. He's preferred stable companion Serious Operator. Now, Dan Skelton's runners in events like this are all to be feared, so his Quavista is worth a glance, even though his bare form, to be honest, doesn't really look good enough in my view. He might have found the sharp 2 miles that Kempton against him last time out on his handicap bow, though, so he remains on the same mark of 113, and the extra 2 furlongs here should be up his street. Sandy Thompson, who trains in the Border Country, his yard is back in form, so his dedicated hero is not without hope, having struggled over fences on his last 2 starts. And he's unbeaten in 3 starts over hurdles and in bumpers at this track. So with first-time cheek pieces added, dedicated hero could be a lively outsider. And then with Captain Hugo for Philip Hobbs and Johnson White, and recent Haydock winner Serious Challenge for Fergal O'Brien, along with the smart dual-purpose performer Wise Eagle for Adam Nicol, who is beginning to look fairly weighted. We have others to seriously consider in a fine contest. But to my selection, well, it is a really big, strong handicap. I'll be backing 2 in the race, and I've already highlighted one of my selections over and out in front. You know where to find that if you want it. Here at SportsBet, my vote goes to Hot Fuss, trained by Tom Dascombe and the mount of Britain's favourite vegan jockey, Dave Bass. And this horse put it all together last time out to win a valuable race at Windsor, having run well in defeat on his 2 previous starts at Ascot and at Sandown. Now, he's gone up for that defeat of Willful at Windsor. He's gone up £5. By the way, spectacular sunrise for Nigel and Willie Twiston Davis was back in 6th that day at Windsor, but is better off at the weights this time and is by no means out of it. But I think the extra 2 furlongs for Hot Fuss should really suit, and he may not have reached his ceiling yet over hurdles. Remember, this is a horse who's talented over hurdles and is also pretty useful as well as a staying handicapper on the flat. He is tough and he is genuine, and I expect Hot Fuss to give us a great run for our money. At the moment, at the time of this recording, Friday, late morning, he is 8-1 each way for 5 places with Unibet, Paddy Power and Boyle Sports, and that looks fair. Maybe there'll be better prices on offer when you get to view this message. Whatever you're backing, I wish you the best of luck. We'll be building up to Cheltenham next weekend. Of course, it's Imperial Cup weekend next Saturday, but there's so much to come as the jump season reaches its zenith in the next 10 days or so, and I hope you'll be sticking with me to see how things go. Fingers crossed for a good run from Hot Fuss. That's it for this weekend. Bye-bye for now.